So I want to talk about the full moon in the sign of Gemini we have on Wednesday, December 7th. Full moon at 16 degrees of Gemini. So this is on the Gemini-Sagittarius axis, okay? So this is the axis of the mind, of thought, of philosophy, of understanding, education. This is the realm and the area of the flexible and malleable mind. Both Sagittarius and Gemini are mutable signs, so they are very flexible, and they are very open to changing their perception and changing their view of things. At the time of the full moon, we have Mars conjoining the moon. So this is definitely a full moon. This is to get things done. This is a time to take action. This is not a time to sit under the tree like Buddha all day, although you should meditate first and then you should take some action, because in the sign of Gemini, we can be, let's see, the mind can be a little bit all over the place, okay? Our actions can be a little bit scattered, and with the moon right there now, that could be a little bit more amplified. So this is a full moon to take action, especially for those that have a retrograde Mars in their birth chart. Lots of those people are probably feeling a drive and an energy that they don't normally have. So if you have that in your birth chart, take some sort of action. The areas of your mind that you've been working through, we've been going through with Venus and Mercury have went through lots and lots of change and lots of aspects since the eclipse. So I feel that this is kind of bringing to close the end of the inner workings of our mind that we've been working with for the last couple months here. So what do you need to finish up within your own mind before we move on to Capricorn season? So we've been in the Sagittarian energy, which is very ambitious, very lofty, but it's not always full of a lot of action. Capricorn is full of action. So the energy that we're going towards is action driven. And so we've been working with the mind, and we've been kind of processing things in our head, and now we're going towards taking action and putting these actions into place and actually reaching our goals. So with Mars mixed in with this full moon, I see this as just a little bit of a transition, kind of pulling us from the mind, the mental perceptive type process of whatever it is that we are all going through, into the physical action, goal-oriented, manifesting the actual end product. So that's where I see Mars being a key player. So this is, like I said, this is definitely a time to take action. Once we get into more Capricorn energy, things are going to be much more serious, much more hardworking. It's more of like a rolling up your sleeves and get shit done type of energy. Other little things to point out about this moon that just kind of amp it up a little bit. We have Jupiter at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is its own sign. And so that gives Jupiter, the planet of expansion and optimism, a little bit extra energy. And then we have Mercury at 1 degree of Capricorn, which Mercury has kind of increased a little bit because the moon is in its sign, okay? Mercury rules Gemini. So being that Mercury is at 1 degree, one of the critical degrees, the first couple degrees and the last couple degrees of each sign, they increase the energy of each of those, of the planet within that sign, okay? They just kind of amp up the energy of the sign and of the planet together, melting together. So we have an elevated Jupiter, we have an elevated Mercury, we have an elevated Mars, okay, within the full moon. So this is where all this is coming in together. So we have the mind, we have expansion, we have action. We've been working with the mind, we've been expanding the mind, and now we're working on expanding our action. We're getting towards our goals. Whatever it is that you have been working towards. This can play out for different people in many, many, many different ways. I see this full moon as a great time for air signs and for fire signs. So our air signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and our fire signs of Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, they get the most positive aspects out of this. So it's not that these are the only people that are going to benefit from it, but these are the signs that it might find it to be the easiest. So I would encourage you to kind of look and see if you have any planets in either of those elements, and especially any planets that you have within the sign of Gemini. So where is Gemini in your chart? Take a look at that and see what planets you have there. See where Mercury is in your chart, and that will kind of show you where this lands for you, what area of your life this is going to impact. Although as you're watching this video, I'm sure you can already think in your mind of what it has been that's been changing through this, okay? What you've been going through and what you've been working on changing. So yeah, I see this as a great full moon energy for moving forward with our mind. Just to kind of recap here, we have this evolution of Mercury that's been going on, and we've brought a lot forward. We've been working with our mind and our perception and our thoughts through Mercury and Venus pretty much since the eclipses that have happened this fall. So I see this as a bit of a like a completion. Okay, full moons are things coming to fruition, completions of cycles. So what I see this as is the things that we've been working through since the eclipse are starting to come together, and they're starting to come into something tangible. So you're able to take what you've been working through for the last couple months, and you're able to move it forward into a tangible manifestation of something that you can actually hold on to. This is just a great action energy, and I hope you take some action, and I hope you take a minute to acknowledge this energy. So, full moon in the sign of Gemini. Have a great time.